In this video, I'm going to show you how to interact with a book using your Keymate Memory. So first thing you'll need is a PDF of that book, and then you'll go to choose a file in loading PDF to Keymate Memory, and I'm going to load in Art of War by Sun Tzu. And so I'm going to choose that and start training. Now if it's a larger document, it may take up to 5 minutes, but usually only takes a minute or two. And so I should be able to check, you can see that it says that it hasn't been uploaded yet, but my guess is that it's going to be loaded very soon, and so I can probably just go and interact with the book automatically, assuming that it's going to load in the next minute or so. So I'm going to go to the Keymate GPT, and I'm going to write, "You are an expert master of the art of war" by Sun Tzu. In your Keymate Memory, you have access to all the contents of the book as Art of War PDF, which is the name of the PDF that I loaded in. And I want you to help me train me in the ways of the art of war. Let's go through each chapter, and I want you to break down the topics into summaries. Come up with relevant questions for me to ask, etc., etc. Essentially, want it to walk me through each chapter and have a conversation with me about the book. And I'll just add a little, whenever I say next chapter, let's move on to the next chapter. So I'll show you an example of being able to go from chapter to chapter as well. You can come up with your own approach to exploring the book, but I just wanted to give you an example of how to do so with this prompt. And so it's going to look into the Keymate Memory for the Art of War PDF, and then it's going to pull up some kind of analysis approach based off of the first chapter. It looks like it's giving a general summary of the entire book, which is pretty decent. Not exactly what I had prompted, but still pretty good. And here's the last part where it's talking about each chapter. Here are the questions to consider. Let's start a discussion with chapter 1, and I'm going to ask it to actually go and summarize chapter 1. So please summarize chapter 1 more deeply for me, since it didn't do a very deep overview of the actual first chapter. And so it's going to take a look and try to find information about that specific chapter. And now it's all going to be constrained by the contents length. So it's easier to talk about a specific section of the book than it is to try to get large summaries of the entire book. Especially if the context length of the book is larger than the context length limitations that currently ChatGPT Plus has. So that's a pretty good summary, and it's got those questions. Now let's try next chapter to see if it switches over to chapter 2 like we want it to. Alright, it's looking through the Keymate Memory to find the information for chapter 2, and there it is, breakdown of chapter 2. You can do this with any book as long as you have the PDF of the book and enough credits to load into your Keymate Memory.